You've been feeling like something has changed, but you don't quite know what. The angels do. They whisper around you because today, the heavens decided you need to understand why this connection hasn't left your heart, even when it seemed like it was time to let it go. There is a sacred mission behind what you feel. And it begins like this. You were sent. Not by chance, not as a distraction, but as a living reflection of the light this person had forgotten existed. When your eyes met, something ignited in the invisible, a memory even logic could not explain. His soul recognized yours before any words were spoken. The angels say, you didn't go to him. It was your soul that responded to an ancient call. You brought healing just by existing, just by being. And this person, even without understanding, was profoundly affected. He felt seen. He felt exposed. He felt alive again. Because there was hidden pain inside him. Old pain. Doors shut for so long that he forgot how to open them. But your presence, silent, gentle, authentic, began to push those doors open. You didn't come to complete anyone. You came to remind. To remind what love is without demands. What presence is without haste. What soul is before body. And that's why he's in conflict. Because nobody has ever come so close to his essence. Nobody has ever looked with such clarity. And that, my dear, stirs everything. This mission is not simple. It requires patience, faith, and above all, self-love. But the angels want you to know, you are exactly where you are meant to be. You are part of a plan that goes far beyond time. And that's why, even without guarantees, you feel this connection pulsing. Even without answers, something within you still believes. This is not weakness. This is the memory of the soul. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Love doesn't always find a ready heart. The angels say, he saw you, and it was like looking into a mirror ablaze. You didn't just arrive, you revealed. And for someone who has learned to survive by burying their feelings, this is like standing before an internal earthquake. This person carries old scars, layers of protection not born from ego, but from fear. Fear of being abandoned. Fear of not being enough. Fear of loving and being shattered again. When you appeared, with your gentle strength, with your gaze that pierces through masks, he felt everything he tried to bury. And that's when the confusion began. The withdrawal. The silence. Because sometimes true love is scarier than loneliness. You weren't the first woman to touch him. But you were the first to touch him where he didn't want to be touched. And this is what the angels want you to understand. It's not about you. It's not rejection. It's emotional panic. He learned that feeling is dangerous. That opening up exposes him to chaos. And you are chaos. Chaos in the best sense. Because you came to disrupt what was in order, but it was an order without life. His soul recognizes yours. But his heart is still at war. And that's why he hesitates. He runs away. He creates distance. But don't be fooled. Every time he pulls away, the thought of you comes back with more strength. Because it's in the silence that he hears your absence. And it's in the absence that he realizes how much he already loves you, even without the courage to say it. This connection is real, but he's still learning to believe he deserves love like that. And you are learning that true love isn't begged for. It's felt, even from a distance. The angels whisper, you didn't come into this world to forget yourself. Amid all this intensity, there's a subtle danger, losing yourself while trying to carry someone else. Loving someone in the process can feel like walking through a sacred field, beautiful, yet filled with thorns. And that's why you need to return to yourself. You've given so much. Thought too much. Waited in silence. Tried to understand signs that aren't always clear. And in the meantime, your soul whispers inside, what about me? When will you take care of me? True love never demands the sacrifice of your own light. It can be deep, intense, even painful, but it should not consume what is most vital in you, your own presence. You don't need to prove anything to be loved. You don't need to dim your light for him to shine. You don't need to erase yourself for him to stay. The angels say that your strength is in your center, in your clear silence, in your whole gaze. And that's what attracts him, even if he doesn't understand. When you choose yourself, you vibrate at a level that heals, not just you but those around you. When you return to yourself, the universe realigns. And those who are yours feel it. They return. They recognize. Your mission is not to wait. It's to bloom, even while he learns how to approach. Take care of yourself with the same tenderness you show him in thought. Nourish your faith. Strengthen your light. Honor your boundaries. Because the love you seek from another starts with the love you practice for yourself. You are a temple, not a temporary shelter. You are a source, not a faucet that only opens when someone else is thirsty. And even if today he still doesn't know how to reach you, your light is guiding the way. First inward, then perhaps to you. You haven't done anything, and yet everything has changed in him. This is the silent strength of light. It doesn't force, doesn't demand. It simply reveals. The angels say, your presence didn't just touch his heart. Your soul brushed against the shadows he hides even from himself. When you appeared, it was like opening a window in a room that had been closed for years. Dust rose. The light stung. But at the same time, it was impossible to deny the beauty that was revealed. You forced him to see himself. To see what he hasn't healed. To see what he repressed. To see what he never knew how to handle. And that's why, by your side, he wavers. Because you are not just affection, you are a mirror. And looking in the mirror hurts when there are open wounds. Maybe he tried to carry on as if nothing were happening. Tried to maintain the old roles, the strong one, the composed one, the indifferent one. But you saw beyond. You saw the wounded boy behind the mature man. You saw the soul where others only saw the surface. And that is unbearable for someone who hasn't yet learned to accept themselves fully. You show without words, where love is still lacking within him. And yet, he comes back. Even so, he tries. Even if hesitantly. Because the heart doesn't forget who looked at it without judgment. You are serving a greater purpose, teaching with your light that it's not necessary to hide in order to be loved. But remember, you are not a therapist for someone else's pain. You are a divine seed. And seeds do not bloom where there is no space. May he see himself through you, but let this not blind you to yourself. Because the mirror is also for you. And the angels ask you in silence, what still hurts when you see yourself in the eyes of someone who doesn't know how to love all that you are? In the silence between an unanswered message and a thought that insists on returning, something began to emerge. And it wasn't in you, it was in him. The angels say, he is starting to feel what he once only denied. It's subtle, almost invisible, but real. A slow change that escapes words, yet pulses in the simplest actions. A lingering gaze, a more attentive presence, a different silence, heavier with longing than with distance. He is waking up. Not because you insisted. Not because you did more than you should have. But it's because your light touched him in a place that time, pride, and even other loves couldn't reach. This awakening is painful. Because it's not just about you. It's about everything he'll need to leave behind to embrace what he feels. Old patterns, defense mechanisms, unresolved stories, past relationships that still haunt him. It's as if he's learning to love all over again. He feels that near you, there's something more. Something that can't be captured in words. Something that defies logic but warms his heart even without explanation. He wonders, why does she affect me so much? And it's in that space of doubt that love begins to grow. You are the question he can't silence. You are the call he still doesn't know how to answer. But he feels. And feeling is the first miracle. Allow this awakening to be his. Don't try to lead, prove, or rush. The angels are working behind the scenes of his soul, and divine timing is never wrong. Be the light, not the path. He will find you when he finally finds himself. You feel when he gets close, and you feel even more when he pulls away. It's like an ancient dance between two souls that haven't learned to move to the same rhythm yet. The angels say, he comes back because he feels, and he runs away because he fears. It's not that he doesn't know what he wants. He does. He wants you. He wants the peace he finds in your gaze, the silent strength of your touch, the truth your presence carries. But he also wants control. He wants security. He wants to not feel so much. And that's where everything breaks apart. He lives between two worlds, the one of courage that you awaken, and the one of fear that still paralyzes him. That's why he disappears, and returns, and hides, and reappears with eyes that say what his lips still lack the courage to confess. You wonder, why doesn't he decide? But the truth is that he has already decided, deep within himself. It's just that deciding isn't the same as being able to. There's a soul at war behind every retreat. Your energy pulls him close, but his shadow drags him away. And you, who feel everything deeply, begin to doubt yourself. But don't doubt. This back and forth isn't disinterest. It's internal confusion. You've become a mirror, a shelter, a challenge, and a desire, all at once. And that destabilizes him. Don't try to understand with logic what only the soul can translate. Don't be ashamed for feeling longing. Don't blame yourself for wanting him to stay. But don't lose yourself in this cycle either. Love that heals isn't a repetition of pain. Remember, you are the home, not the maze. And when he's ready to stop running, he will know the way back. The angels whisper, true love doesn't need to be explained. It is felt, even in silence. You don't know it, but your presence has healed parts of him that he didn't even know were wounded. Your affection, your gentle words, even your absences, all had a profound effect. It wasn't what you did. It was who you are. You embody the type of love that embraces without suffocating, that sees without invading, that remains even when it's not understood. And this kind of love is rare. That's why he feels fear. He's learned to protect himself, to not trust, to not give in. But even trying to keep his defenses up, he can't be the same since you entered his life. There's a change happening, slow and invisible, like the sun melting ice. Your love touched a spiritual memory, a remembrance of something pure, safe, eternal. As if his soul knew it had known yours in other times. And that's why, even without explanation, he feels. He feels peace when he thinks of you. He feels longing when he tries to pull away. He feels fear of losing something that maybe he doesn't even truly have. And in this tangle of emotions, what keeps him alive is what you transmit. Your energy is healing. Your touch, even just in thought, is balm. Love, when true, is a mirror that also heals. Even if he still can't name what he feels, he already recognizes. You made him see possibilities he no longer believed in. It will take him some time to express it. But he already feels everything. And this is just the beginning of the miracle. Trust in God's timing. Because what is planted with faith blooms at the exact moment it needs to. This is the whisper of the angels tonight. You've been carrying a heavy heart, wondering if all of this makes sense, if it wouldn't be better to move on, to forget. But there's something inside you that won't let go, that insists, that remains. And that something is the Spirit guiding you. You are not bound to an illusion. You are connected to a divine process, a storyline that was not written by you, but has you as the protagonist. This man, this soul, this heart that challenges you, he is also part of the plan. And no matter how distant he may seem today, the angels are between you two, orchestrating the meetings, the misunderstandings, and even the silences. You are not alone. You never were. Heaven has been watching over you, even when you cried in the dark. Even when no one knew. Even when it seemed like love was too heavy to bear. God sees. God knows. God feels. And He is organizing the paths, even when everything seems stagnant. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. Psalms 37 verse 5. This connection pulsing between you two is not a madness of your mind. It's a call from the soul. And every step you take in faith, He transforms into a miracle. You don't need to control. You just need to trust. There is a point within Him that still trembles. A half-open door that doesn't know whether to open wide or close forever. The angels say, He wants to love, but still fears being seen completely. Behind the confident image, the easy laughter, the calculated silence, there is a fragile man, full of poorly told stories and fears he has never dared to share. He fears he may not be enough. He fears being abandoned the moment he opens up. He fears that you might see the parts of himself he rejects. And so, he holds onto his feelings as if they are something too precious and dangerous. You have felt it. You have noticed. There are moments when he is fully present, and the next second, he hides behind excuses, hurry, and absence. It's not contempt. It's protection. He learned, perhaps from a very young age, that love is synonymous with loss. And now, faced with someone who sees him for who he really is, he panics. Because you don't see him for the facade he puts up. You see what he conceals. And that is the greatest intimacy that exists. You invade him with kindness, with affection, with presence, and that disarms him. But it also leaves him feeling vulnerable. For him, loving still means exposing himself to pain. Even so, he stays. Even so, he returns. Even if it's just in thought, in restrained gesture, in unspoken words. He comes back. Because no one has ever touched him this way, without expecting, without shaping, without demanding. You have made him desire a love he isn't sure he can maintain. But the angels are at work. They are bringing down his defenses, soothing his wounds, creating courage within him. And in the meantime, you need to remember, it's not your job to heal him. Your mission is to be truth. If he finds the courage, he will come. If not, life will take care of the paths. But the seed has been planted. And his soul has already blossomed, even if he doesn't yet realize it. There comes a moment when one no longer expects. Not because they've given up, but because they've finally understood. The angels say, what is meant for you by destiny does not need to be chased. It only needs to be recognized. You've traveled a long road, filled with doubts, hope, and surrender. You've felt everything. You've lived every silence as a scream and every small gesture of affection as a miracle. You've loved with courage. And that alone is victory. But now, it's time to accept. Accept that not all love reveals itself in the time you wished for. That not every soul is ready when yours is. And that true love does not demand control, it requires trust. You did everything you could without losing yourself. You were light. You were present. You were a living prayer. And even if he hasn't returned yet, even if the path seems uncertain, you are being guided. Because this story has never been just about him. It was about you seeing yourself. About you remembering yourself. About you loving yourself so much that, even in the face of absence, you remained whole. The angels celebrate you. Because acceptance is not giving up, it is wisdom. They say, the woman who embraces her own soul attracts everything that resonates with the same light. You don't need to wait any longer. You need to trust. What is real will find its way. What is love will return in the form of life. And if it isn't him, something even more aligned with who you have become will come. God does not forget the hearts that love with purity. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11, embrace the timing. Embrace the process. Embrace yourself with tenderness. And the right love will come, as a response, as a blessing, as a reward.